Create Art Podcast. Project NaPoWriMo, otherwise known as National Poetry Writing Month. Hello friends, this is Timothy Chemo Bryan, your head instigator for Create Art Podcast, where I bring my 20 plus years of experience in the arts and education world to help you tame your inner critic and create more than you consume. So this month is National Poetry Writing Month. Happens every April. And National Poetry Writing Month is known as NaPoWriMo, and it's a creative writing project. And what they do is they give you prompts. If you go to the NaPoWriMo website at NaPoWriMo.net, and they'll give you 30 prompts for the 30 days in April. Now, on the website, you can also interact with other people. This year is going to be different from the previous years that I've done this project. This year, I'm going to be writing poetry throughout the year, and I am following a different prompt than the one that the National Poetry Writing Month folks do. Now, I've been doing poetry since 1988. I know for a lot of people here, they're like, whoa, the 1900s. But I've been doing it for a long time. I've been writing poetry for a long time and performing my poetry. So this year, like I said, I'm going to be writing all throughout the year. And the blog that I'm using is called Think Written. And the links for that will be in the show notes. I'm also going to be performing these works at Couture Coffee House here in Fredericksburg, Virginia on their Friday night Snaps open mic poetry reading. You'll have a link for that again in the show notes. And a lot of people, they ask me, hey, Tim, why do you do this to yourself every year? And my answer to that is, if I'm going to ask you to be, taming your inner critic and creating things, then I need to be doing it too, right alongside you. So that's why this year I'm doing it a little bit different, but I will be interacting with the poets there on the NaPoWriMo site. And we'll see how this goes. I'm pretty excited to be doing it this way. Okay, for today's episode, I'm actually using the prompt from NaPoWriMo. And today's prompt is cast your mind back to your own childhood and write a poem about something that scared you or used to scare you and which still haunts you, if only a little bit, today. So I entitled this one, Summer Nightmare. The heat had settled in for the season. We were sweltering, although the sun had gone down hours ago. When building the house, it was decided not to have central air or a basement. Our neighborhood was rumored to have been built on a gravesite for the indigenous population. It was the type of rumor to keep kids in at night, but some rumors need to be heeded. It was another night of sweating, with the hum of fans that put us to sleep. I knew I was dreaming, only to wake up to the sound of a broken window. I peered over to my window. The drapes were opened when they should have been shut, and a figure was standing outside, readying what appeared to be a bow and arrow. I heard a swoosh and then a thud in the wall, right above my stomach. And then I sprang up, breaking the shaft of the arrow, and ran to my parents' room. I forgot about the fans in my startled state and ran right through the fan, slicing up my knee and leg, waking my father, who took me to the bathroom. We cleaned off the blood in the tub, and I frantically told him what happened. I'd awakened everyone in the house as we turned on the light in my bedroom. We found the window intact, the drapes pulled back, but no broken shaft, just 2 arrowheads lodged against the wall, right above where I slept. My father thought I had planted the arrowheads, as one could find them easily in our neighborhood, and decided to yell at me for breaking his sleep, telling me this was all in my wild imagination. When we moved away years later, the arrowheads I recovered that night were lost in the move. but I can still feel the figure pursuing me, and I always make sure the drapes are closed. All right, so that was my poem for this day for National Poetry Writing Month. I hope you enjoyed it. You can go right to the website, createartpodcast.com, and you can go ahead and comment right there in the comment section if you like. Now, something I'd like to ask you is, if you enjoyed it, shoot me an email, timothy@createartpodcast.com. I want to hear about your journey, and I want to hear about what you're working on. And if you'd like to be on the show, or would like to discuss a topic that's giving you trouble, well then go ahead and email me. Let's start that conversation. I also want to let you know about another podcast that I do, and that one is called Find a Podcast About, and that's where I help you find your next binge-worthy podcast and outsmart that algorithm. You can find that podcast at findapodcastabout.xyz. Last thing I'd like to say here is, if you found value in the show, let me know. Pass it on to a friend. If you have ideas on what I could do better to make this a 5-star podcast, I want to hear about those too. I want to be helping you with your art, to be bold with your art, as I do it right beside you. I'll see you next time.